As a knitter, it would make sense to knit a Christmas sweater. But in my experience, the rooms where families and friends gather warm up very quickly. So this year I wanted to be smarter and sew something a little more lightweighted. I liked the fit and the casual look of the Sally sweater. Combined with the cream corduroy fabric that I had in stash, it could give me the comfortable yet elevated look I was going for. I had already made a pair of lander pants with this corduroy fabric and I love it very much. Paired with the Sally sweater, it will give me a very nice monochromatic outfit. December can be a very stressful and very busy month. With this video, I hope to invite you to sit down and grab whatever crafts you are working on and create with me for just 15 minutes. Even though I am familiar with the raglan construction in knitting, the Sally sweater was my first raglan sewing project. What's special in this project is that the sleeves are created by 4 pattern pieces, not by 2. Since I chose a non-stretchy fabric, I have to create an additional opening in the back to get the sweater over my head. During editing, I noticed that I'm wearing a lot of sweaters that I made myself in this video. If you're curious what patterns I used, I link them all in the description below. I want to have the option to pull the sleeves back when I'm working in the kitchen or eating or something. This is especially important to me when it's a white fabric. Therefore, I made sure the cuff is a little longer than the original one from the pattern, so it will fit me perfectly. I do have to confess that I freestyled a little with the back opening. I probably would have gotten a more clean looking result if I didn't just cut a line into the back piece, but cut out some fabric in a rounded shape. Over the years I gathered a lot of lace, and even if I seldom use them or tend to gravitate towards the more minimal and boring option, you could say, I always enjoy rummaging through them. In cases where I want to have a crisp edge or press the fabric down a little bit more than usual, I use a piece of wood called clapper. Technically, a clapper should probably be made of a more hardwood wood than the one I have, but the principle is the same, to apply pressure when the fabric cools down. When I was a child, I was already very crafty, so I received a great gift. It was just a box of very colorful, beautiful buttons. I still have the box and some of the colorful buttons. However, my children use them more for play and arts and crafts. But similar with the lace, I find that there's just something really satisfying to go through all the buttons that I have. I chose this particular button because it had a little neck or shaft. I also liked the shimmer as well. It's always a little finicky to get the neckband right, especially the edges. It requires some focus, precision, and a lot of top stitching. Also, in the finished garment, it's a prominent position and very difficult to hide mistakes, especially in the front. So I don't want to mess this up. The neckband looks okay to me, also from the inside. However, it is a difficult part to get right with a non-stretchy fabric because the original pattern was made for a stretchy fabric. So here and there you see some wrinkles showing. Ideally they wouldn't be there. I have made button eyes with this machine, but I always forget how to do it and I have to go and check back in the instructions. From experience, I also know that I always should test first. Even though it's measured and automatic and everything, things can go wrong, and they often do. I just learned that this tool is called a buttonhole chisel. I prefer this tool over a seam ripper because I can cut more precisely and I don't risk to damage the buttonhole. What is nice about these structured, textured fabrics is they are kind of forgiving, so you don't see small details that I messed up. I'm giving half a thumbs up for the left back side because, like I already mentioned, the neckband is a difficult part with a non-stretchy fabric to get right, and it shows on the left back side. Now there's only the hemline left to be finished and the label to be attached. And so now, how does it look? I'm really happy how this outfit turned out and I feel great in it. It's comfortable I can move freely, it's not too warm, and it's very easy to add an accessory or some of my jewelry that I love. That's it for me for this year. We don't know what next year will bring, but if you find yourself in deep fog, it can be very difficult to imagine that there is a sun always shining above the fog. You just have to go out and look for it. And some days you're lucky and you find it. I'm very thankful for what 2025 brought me, and I know life doesn't owe me. I hope I can continue to create moments of peaceful creating. I wish you all the best luck for 2026, and I hope to see you again next year.